In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Matador FlatPak Toiletry Bottle. At the time of this review, we've been testing it for about a month. It just released today. We got a sneaky early copy of it, so I'm excited to share our thoughts with you. I'm Tom, the founder of Pack Hacker, and we're a team of frequent travelers that share our travel tips and tricks. We do guides and reviews just like this one, so if you're new here, consider subscribing. Let's jump right into the Matador FlatPak Toiletry Bottle review. The Matador FlatPak Toiletry Bottle offers a welded Cordura fabric going on the outside, and basically appears to be two flat pieces that have come together, welded on the sides. There's some minimalistic branding going on here, so we have the black on black Matador here, we have some white on black branding here on the snap loop, and then we also have the nice Matador M going on in the cap. So overall, some really subtle, nice looking branding going on. This fabric is waterproof and flexible. The nice thing about the form factor of this is that it kind of conforms to the shape of the liquid that's inside of it. So the less liquid you have, the more compressible and packable it is. If it's really filled to the brim, it's still got some flex to it to kind of slide it in, a nice little nook in your pack or inside of your DOP kit without taking up too much additional space and without being too bulky. The dimensions are a little bit larger than a credit card. And lastly, on the lube up here, there is a little label here for you to be able to kind of write in whatever's inside of this thing. So if you have multiple, it's gonna be easy to tell them apart. Just make sure, they recommend using permanent marker here. Just make sure you know exactly what you wanna put inside of here before you end up labeling it, because it's hard to change, almost impossible to change once you write that in. For starters, this thing is easier to fill than we initially thought. The cap just screws off. It's actually very highly threaded, so it's really locked in. Once you bring it in there, boom, look at that. There is like 4 levels of thread there. So definitely not going anywhere once you have it inside. Matador doesn't really recommend any liquids to leave out of it. However, we just recommend leaving out more abrasive substances like, nail polish remover or alcohol. Maybe not the best inside of this thing. Of course, you're always running some kind of risk, depending on the more abrasive things that you put in here, the more likely it is to kind of deteriorate the fabric. Although Matador doesn't explicitly warn against this on any of their packaging. When it comes time to grab some liquid out of here, boom, just flip it open, and there we go, we're ready to go. One of the things that we found in this thing is this cap doesn't seem quite as reinforced on there as we'd like it to be. It's just one little piece of plastic. And additional to that, they don't actually have a valve in here, similar to some other brands that we've looked at. A valve just kind of helps keep the liquid fully inside and offers another layer of protection as far as leakage goes. So if you take a look at our review on the Go Tubes, specifically the Go Tube Pluses, they have a cap that goes on it. Then they also have a valve as kind of a second line of defense that tends to work well for runnier liquids as well. So inside of here right now, we have some sunblock, which is a little bit thicker. But if you had something more of a liquid base, I'd be curious to see how it would work out without a valve. I think it'd be a little bit easier to kind of just like flow out of here. So we haven't had any problems with using it in our month of testing, but definitely something to note. So one other thing with this is that it's 3 ounces, which is definitely TSA approved for carry-on travel. However, TSA will let you travel with 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters. Now, why do they do that? Well, it's easier for the public to understand a 311 rule versus a 3.411 rule. So we understand this is likely why Matador made it 3 ounces instead of 3.4. We just wish it was a little bit larger so we could hold a little bit more. One of the awesome things with the FlatPak compared to something like the Go Tube is that it's very flexible. It's easier to pack. You can slide it into little nooks and crannies. Definitely just easier to manage than cylindrical tubes. Rounding out the usage and features on this thing, there is a snap loop here that you can use to hang either from a carabiner clip, if you're in a hostel, in the shower, anything with a kind of hook will do here. So easy enough to hang that up. One thing to note on these snap loops is that they've greatly improved the design of them and the kind of level of button that they've used compared to the Matador towel that we reviewed a couple weeks ago. So in contrast to that, this thing actually stays on until you actually want to unbutton it. So way more robust than you'd see on their towels. And lastly, this doesn't have to do much with the usage, but this thing is like super satisfying to have in your hand. It feels like a mini waterbed. At the time of this review, we've been testing the FlatPak from Detroit to Barcelona for about a month of heavy usage. Overall, it's been pretty great. The one thing that we've noticed is that there's some fraying on the sides here where it's welded in place. We're not sure exactly what that's from and hasn't affected the usage at all. We'd be curious to see how this continues to hold up as we use it for longer. Generally, we've enjoyed the small, flexible form factor, and it's really easy to kind of just slide away into a dop kit when you're on your travels. Really great little piece to have with you. Flexible, easy to use. So to wrap this thing up with some pros and cons, the size adapts to the volume of the contents. It's one of the lighter weight containers out there for liquids and toiletries. It's TSA approved at 3 ounces, and it says right on the label if anybody questions it at TSA or a security checkpoint. For some cons, there is no secondary valve as a fail-safe. There's no easy way to relabel what's inside of here, so once you use that Sharpie to label it, just know that basically you're gonna be stuck with that. Additionally, there is some fraying happening at the welded seams after a month of use. However, it hasn't affected anything as far as the usage goes. Overall, the Matador FlatPak Toiletry Bottle offers a fresh look at carrying your liquids on the road. Although we have some concerns around the durability of the cap and valve system, the form factor makes it easy to pack, stow away, and utilize on the road. We're happy with the fresh take Matador has created when it comes to traveling with liquids. Thanks for taking a look at our review on the Matador FlatPak Toiletry Bottle. Be sure to head over to packhacker.com/newsletter, sign up for our newsletter, and never miss an update. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you in the next video. As far as usage, team of perpetual. Okay.